Today's video is very unexpected because I was not expecting to cover this case. But I really wanted to ask myself and everyone, what would you have done if you and your friends went out to the river to have a nice boat day and have fun with your friends, and all of a sudden your friends fall off the boat and they're missing? What would you have done after you found out? Because in today's case, we're going to be talking about a famous Thai actress named Tangmo Nida. She went missing after she went out on a boat with her friends, and her body was found 2 days later, and police seems to conclude that this was an accident, but fans, the family, and everybody seems to not really buy what the police are saying. And her friends' reactions were very, very interesting. So, what would you have done? Is this a case that needs actual justice, or is it another case that has been twisted by the media frenzy? The details of this case, I'm sure, is in the Thai language, and I don't speak Thai, so I try to find as much English source as possible. So if you are Thai and if you know some information that I've missed or got wrong, please leave a comment down below. So Tangmo Nida was a Thai actress, and she was born on September 13th, 1984. She was just 37 years old at the time of the incident, and she had a huge following on social media. She was on Instagram, she made TikTok videos. I mean, she was kind of like the rest of us. She was in Miss Teen Thailand during her early days. She was very well educated. She had multiple degrees, including nursing assistant. Of course, her main career was acting. She was an actress since she was a teenager, and up till now she was in a lot of major big Thailand movies, including Netflix. When Nida was around only 5 years old, when she was a child, her parents got a divorce. And she was living with her father for most of her life, and her mother left the family and only returned when she was a teenager. It is rumored that Nida and her mother just recently got close. It's not like they were close all their lives. In December 2013, she got married to a Thai singer/actor, Pakin, but only 2 years after their marriage, they decided to split. Shortly after that, she was in a lot of distress, possibly from the splits, and many other things that was going on in her life that we don't know about. So it is noted that Nida was going through some personal issues, very extreme degree, at least one point in her life, to the point where she wanted to take her own life. But this happened, 8 years ago, and until recently, it seemed like she was having a great life. She turned her life around. She had a new boyfriend. She was still doing really well in her entertainment career. And these videos and photos, at least from what it looks like, she portrays a happy life. Now, this information is really iffy to me personally. But she had an adoptive daughter, and this adoptive daughter's biological mother was one of her managers. She had 2 managers, I believe, and one of her main manager was named GRAZY, and she was one of the person on the boat we're going to be talking about. So GRAZY was a biological mother, but at the same time, GRAZY and Nida were living together and they were working together, and they were like sharing the daughter. So I don't know if legally Nida adopted the daughter, but personally, I don't really see how GRAZY was not fit to be a mother. She was around her daughter all the time, so was Nida. Seemed like they weren't really having trouble with money to like the degree of poverty where she couldn't take care of her daughter. So I don't know the extent of the relationship, but from what I've read and seen, I personally don't understand it. It's interesting that the actress adopted the daughter of her best friend/manager and they lived together. Or I don't know, maybe Nida couldn't have a child of her own and she wanted to adopt. Like, we don't know, but I just think it's interesting. But either way, Nida took care of Esther, the daughter, as her own. I mean, she took her to school, they were living together. I mean, she was basically like her mother, and she loved this child as her own. Of course, there's also videos of GRAZY swimming with her daughter, and she also calls her daughter as well. So again, if anyone has an explanation to what this relationship was, please let us know in more detail, because I just find it really interesting. On February 24th, Nida and 5 other people boarded what I call a tiny speedboat in Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. There were 2 other females, one GRAZY, her manager, and Sand, who was supposedly their best friend. 3 other males, 1 friend, 1 boat owner, and 1 the driver. According to the witnesses, they rode this boat to go somewhere to eat and then come back. And of course, have a drink, have a nice little way to end the night. These are photos and videos taken from the boat that day. And for me personally, I find, they were pretty fine. It seemed like she was pretty happy. Some people think she was not happy in this video, but all I see is normal. I mean, nothing too out of the ordinary, right? I believe none of the people on the boat were wearing life jackets, at least especially Nida wasn't. She was wearing a one-piece swimsuit under her clothes, supposedly to take some good photos for her social media, and that's one of the reasons that the witnesses, her friends, gave an explanation of why she wasn't wearing a life jacket. But I mean, come on. They probably weren't wearing a life jacket, in my opinion, because they'd probably done this multiple times and they didn't feel the need to. Of course, that's the wrong way to approach safety protocols. Should be there 100% of the time, but not an exclusion for your friends or your celebrity friends, or just because you've done this multiple times before. Everybody should have been wearing life jackets. Supposedly, the boat's bathroom was broken and they were out for a couple hours, and Nida really needed to use the bathroom. She needed to pee. Again, this is all according to the friends. So around 10:40 p.m., Nida went to the back of the boat. She was holding onto her friend Sand's leg, and Sand was lying down looking at her phone like this. Supposedly, when Nida was holding onto it and she was trying to pee, this is when the boat jerked and Nida fell into the water. So this is the part when the information is going to get very suspicious and conflicting, so buckle up. Of course, this is when they didn't see their friend Nida anywhere and started to panic and look for her. They searched for a while, and there's different reports that it was 20 minutes up to an hour when they couldn't find her that they decided to call the police and get a rescue team. According to her friends, I mean, I kind of do understand that it's going to be very hard to find someone by themselves in this tiny boat. They probably don't really have a lot of lights. They don't have the proper search equipment. There's probably like 1 or 2 lights in front of the boat, and the water is pitch black. When the rescue team came out to try and find her, according to them, the current was very high and there was limited visibility, and the search was unsuccessful. Friends returned to the dock at around 1 a.m., so around 2.5 hours after Nida fell. They all left to go home before the actual police arrived. That's the first part that a lot of netizens have a problem with. It was later found out that before they went home, all the people that was there, I don't know if Sand was there, but at least the men and Gatik, they met up at a gas station, and there's a CCTV of them talking. So we don't know what they talked about, but first of all, I mean, would you have even gone home knowing that your friend fell off the water and you can't find her? We'll get to in a bit of what the explanation was from the friends in a bit. According to the reports from then, for 24 hours, none of these 5 friends picked up their phones nor could be reached. Mother of Nida called the manager, the police were calling them, and they literally disappeared for 24 hours. Obviously, some people believe that, I mean, did they do this because they wanted to concoct a story, a same story, like they had to match their words because they knew more than they claimed to. I mean, Gatik, her manager, later on in the interview said that she went home because she was tired and she missed her daughter that was home. That's why she didn't have time to pick up Nida's mother's calls. But for me personally, would I be even sleeping if my friend was missing in the water and you can't find her? And she is like an A-class celebrity in your country. My friend who adopted my own daughter that I live with. I don't know if I would have even left the scene. Unfortunately, the rescue team could not find the body right away, and it was 2 days later when they finally saw Nida's body floating around the area that she went missing. Of course, the media, her fans, netizens, everybody was shocked that this beautiful, lively actress was just gone like that. The first and the biggest information that people found out was that the driver of the boat was actually unlicensed, or that his license expired. I mean, whatever the story was, he was unlicensed. He was not a great driver. I mean, suspicions aside, the fact that you have an unlicensed person is really important because you need someone that actually knows how to drive the boat smoothly, safely, and puts safety protocols to everybody in that boat. Otherwise, something like this can happen. There were some witnesses on the dock claiming that the boat was going too fast at certain points, which is a very important information because someone that does not know how to properly drive a boat could have definitely led to a tragedy like this. When the autopsy was done on Nida's body, there's one part that is unexplainable, which was a long cut that was on her thighs. I believe it was in her inner right thighs. There was some minor bruises as well, and they can't 100% confirm if this cut was from the day of the incident or a couple days prior, but they do think that this cut had to be somewhere within 5 to 7 days. I mean, this was a large 30-centimeter cut, and the only explanation that they think they have is when Nida fell off the boat, that her skin was scraped from the propeller that was moving around. But no major vessels were punctured through this cut, so they don't believe that this was the cause of her death. And actually the ultimate cause of her death was drowning, because they found water and sand in her lungs, which indicates that she was alive when she fell. So like I said, it seems like the police are ruling this as an accident. And she was drinking as well. She was having some wine, so mixed with alcohol, the shock of falling into the water, and the cut all might have contributed to her drowning. But the public was of course not buying this explanation, and there's a lot of things that are wrong with this theory. And the first thing is the fact that Nida can swim. I mean, first of all, this wasn't an ocean, you know, it's not like you have big tide waves, but this is a river where there was a lot of CCTVs. You could literally see where the boat was. There was a lot of people on the deck. How could she have not swam out of her way? Number two, people don't buy that Nida was trying to pee at that moment. But it doesn't make sense that someone is trying to pee when the boat is going really fast. I mean, I've been on a boat before, and especially in a tiny boat like that, when you're moving really fast, like, you can barely grab onto anything and stand still. So the fact that someone was trying to literally balance themselves, hold onto their friend's leg and try to pee and get the pee everywhere, because obviously the boat's going fast, and like have the water splash on you. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that anyone would try to pee in that kind of circumstance. Not only that, but Nida, was she really comfortable with everyone there? I mean, there was 2 other males that seems like she wasn't. It's not like they were her boyfriends or their family. I mean, I don't know how close she was with them, but according to the friends, she was obviously close enough to feel comfortable to pee in the middle of the boat. The other explanation would be just the fact that she's so chill. She just doesn't care, or maybe she was so wasted, intoxicated, that she didn't care and she really wanted to go. From the CCTV footages, I mean, it seems like the dock and where the boat was pretty close. And if they really needed to go, I mean, she could have really just told the boat owners, hey, let's get off for a second, let me go pee. Also, netizens claim that she was wearing a bodysuit, and girls, you know, when you wear a bodysuit, you gotta take the whole thing off if you want to go to the bathroom. So how was she trying to balance and maneuver her little bodysuit to try and pee while the boat was going really fast? Of course, again, since she is a high profile, there's CCTV footages everywhere. I mean, someone could have taken like a picture of her peeing, literally. I mean, I don't know if you want that kind of image out there. Nida's wine glass and some things that belonged on the boat was also not found, so they believe someone or somehow it fell off the boat during the incident. Gatik, her manager, actually had Nida's phone and she took it with her home. Now, when police found the phone, they did find evidence that Gatik deleted some of the conversations or some things on her phone, and it was altered. Not clear in which specific text messages were deleted. Fans noticed that since the incident, about 7 photos were deleted from Nida's Instagram account. We don't know who did this, but I mean, we could only guess. Instagram is pretty much on your phone only. I mean, you can get it through computers, but most people use it through their phone. So someone most possibly that had access to her phone could have deleted some of her pictures. Now, which photos were deleted? Some of Nida's hardcore fans think it's photos of Nida swimming, photos of Nida's adopted daughter, and a photo of her cat. So was someone trying to hide the fact that Nida can swim? Also, a photo of Gatik swimming with her daughter was deleted from her personal Instagram. Also, remember this photo with Nida and Gatik the day that they were on the boat? Police found out that the time of this photo was taken at 9:56, but they think that the time of the photo, the data was altered by someone, as the photo seems like it had to be taken before the bridge light was turned off, which the bridge light turns off at 9 p.m. So this photo was taken way before 9:56, so they don't know how or why the photo time data was altered, but supposedly it was according to the police. I don't even know how you change the photo data time. I don't know if that's even possible these days. So I don't know if this information is correct from the media. Like I said, in 2022, I don't even know if it's possible unless you're a computer freak or expert. There's also a couple reports from the media that one of the men called his powerful or rich friend for some kind of help or advice right after this incident. Now, I don't want to be too biased or judged because this person really could have sought help from their rich friends to provide some resources to try and help their friends, or it could be the other way, try to really ask for advice on what to do in this kind of situation. Who knows? Sand and Gatik went on the media to try and explain their actions. Now, according to the public, they believe that Sand and Gatik said some things that was very insensitive. When the media asked Sand what happened when her friend was holding onto her leg, Sand was afraid to get into the water as well, so she kind of shook off her leg. Also, regarding the question of why they left the scene, Sand responded, "I thought Nida would be helped by a nearby passing boat." So I believe this was their explanation of why they went home after knowing their friend was missing. They thought that she would get help from other people or the rescue team. I don't know what y'all think about that, but Sand also went on Instagram Live to talk to the fans about the accident only 1 week after Nida's body was found, which again, I don't understand. I don't understand people who go on Instagram Live after something like this has happened and trying to explain to the fans. I don't know, like, why would you be on social media at all? Maybe she felt that, you know, because Nida is such a popular actress in Thai, she felt the need to explain it to the fans, and there was thousands of people watching this live, by the way, but I can't seem to find the original copy of it. I just don't know. I just would not be on social media at all talking to anybody but the police and the family. But again, that's me. So police actually say that they don't believe Nida was trying to pee when she fell in the water because it just does not match the forensic evidence that they have so far. Now, there are a couple videos floating around the internet. Again, I don't really want to comment too much on these because I know in the past cases that there are so many CCTV footages that's been altered by the people of online trying to make certain cases into a mystery when it's not. Just advise you that these may not be maybe the original copies. Like, we don't know because it's just floating around the internet. So supposedly this is a CCTV footage around the time that Nida fell off the water. Now, if these videos are real, or during the time the tide was not high nor the boat was going fast. But again, we don't know if these footages are in real time or if it's slowed down or sped up. But overall, it seems like the water itself was calm enough for someone to not be swept away by tides. Now, fans speculate that this video also is around the time that Nida should have fell over. It seemed like maybe someone was grabbing onto someone's hair. But again, the video is so dark and pixelated, all of these videos are, that it's really hard to make out anything. But it did get a lot of people to question, I mean, are these waters and these conditions really not swimmable? And if she was fighting in the water, did the friends really not hear someone calling for help or someone like literally drowning? Did she really just fall into the water and just disappear? Is that even really possible unless you were very drunk, very disoriented, or maybe something was holding you down? I mean, of course, another part, because I'm not a boat or river expert, I'm not there every single day fishing, so it's hard to say what the conditions might feel like. So if any of you guys are boat, you've been out on these kind of boats before, what would the condition be? And would you hear anyone during that time of night if someone fell off the boat and someone was missing? Because I don't want to judge yet if I'm not an expert when it comes to waters. So let's get into the suspicions of her friends and the possible theories that the netizens believe might contributed. So there were rumors that manager Gatik was very jealous of her friend Nida. Supposedly Nida and Gatik had some arguments about money before the incident. Allegedly, Nida wanted to replace Gatik with her other manager named Anna. To Gatik, like this was her one and only source of income, and she felt like she was being pushed aside and losing her job. And Nida felt like she was not solely responsible to pay for her best friend's lifestyle. Now again, Gatik and Nida, I believe, were living together. Supposedly they were sharing clothes, they were sharing their daughter, cars, house, literally everything. And maybe Nida felt a little overwhelmed because of that. Now according to YouTuber Nessie Judge, who did the translation, now she said that in an interview when the media asked Gatik why she did not pick up the calls of Nida's mother or the police, Gatik said that she was really tired, disoriented, again missing her daughter. Because Nida's mother was not a scuba diver and can really help, she felt no need to alert her family when they found out that Nida was missing. So if this was truly an accident, and the police also claim that they don't think Nida was trying to urinate during the time, why would the friends need to make up that story? So as of right now, the two men, the owner of the boat and the driver, have been arrested for neglect, but they are out on bail as of this moment. The mother, I believe, went back and forth believing that this was not an accident, but then it was, but eventually she wanted to accept about $1 million of compensation from the boat owners and the driver. And she explained to the media that there's nothing that's going to bring her daughter back, so there's nothing else she can do but to forgive and accept compensation. But as of recent report, the mother and the family of Nida do want the police to look into this in a more thorough manner. Now either way, do you think that how the friends handled the situation when your friend went missing was justified? And if some of you guys are contemplating, well, what if they didn't know that she was drowning? I mean, we're talking about the boat and the waters here. If the person's not on the boat, they're in the water. And if you can't hear them in the water, what do you think is happening? So I don't understand why the friends acted the way they did, and why the manager Gatik felt the need to delete certain things on their phone. I mean, not alerting the parents, okay, fine, if they felt really afraid that the parents were gonna worry, but to not pick up the police's phone calls, it's just wild to me. So if we're going by the records of the police and how they're saying that this was an accident, I really don't believe that the friends tried to do something intentionally to hurt Nida. But I do think that they were bad friends and they handled the situation in a way that they shouldn't have. And just my personal opinion, the fact that Nida would drown immediately in that kind of water that we see with information that we have. And if you could swim pretty well, at least the basic idea of swimming, the fact that she would drown, unless like she was under the boat somehow, you know, which according to the friends, the boat was moving at the time. So, but at the same time, we don't want to point fingers at anyone, because I mean, if they really was trying to do something wrong, this place with a lot of CCTVs and certain lights, would this place be really a place to try and murder someone? Is there a bigger story that we will never know until the friends speak up? So let me know what you guys have thought about Nida's case. My heart goes out. She was a beautiful looking actress. I'm sure it has shocked a lot of people. Your like in this video, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell really helps me to continue creating these contents and cover these cases. And I'm live watching the video with you guys and replying to all my early birds. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video.